I hope that you enjoyed that and found that meaningful. I always love our Chamesh Megillot, the 5 beautiful books that we read on special holidays, like the Song of Songs on Passover. We'll be beginning the Yizkor service in a few moments. Hopefully you have the handout that says Mechona Nechona, perfect piece of Yizkor service handy. I'm going to give my Yizkor remarks now, though, and then we'll go immediately into that service afterwards. So you should have that nearby. Arise, my fair one, come away, for now the winter is past. The blossoms have appeared in the land. The song of the turtle dove is heard in our land. Arise, my darling, my fair one, come away. We just chanted those words from the gorgeous, lush poetry, love poetry, of the Song of Songs. We chant this biblical book on Pesach, of course, because the holiday comes in the spring, the season of new blossoms. We associate spring with young lovers, like those in the song, young lovers in springtime, lovers who are full of hope, full of life, and full of possibility. Our own yearnings for hope, life, and possibility come alive on this holiday as we recall our liberation from slavery and look towards redemption. On Pesach, we connect our longing to free ourselves and our world from oppression, from the narrow straits of Mitzrayim. At the Seder, while a part of us marvels at the stories we have heard and told about Elijah's cup, a serious part of us yearns for the healing and the repair that Elijah's cup represents. A part of us feels, if only Elijah would in fact really appear, announcing the arrival of a world of beauty and peace, as gorgeous as the world of the Song of Songs. Pesach delivers a message of hope. It reassures us that spring will return to the land. It suggests to us that, like our ancestors, we can walk through our own sea of troubles and emerge on the other side. On this holiday, we imagine our ancestors in the Torah exhausted, beaten down slaves on the shore of the Red Sea, fearing for their lives as waters rise and Pharaoh's soldiers pursue them. We imagine how in the face of their terror, the Israelites walked on dry land in the midst of the sea. And then how safely on the other side, what is it that they actually did? They stopped, they paused, and then they sang and danced. They were free, safe, relieved beyond measure, beyond anything most of us could understand. They didn't say, I'm hungry from all of this, I need to eat. They didn't say, we have to get going, we need someplace to live. What's going to be with us? They didn't complain. They sang and danced. That was their story of the crossing of the sea, Dayenu. But stories take on new lives and new meanings as they are told, as they speak to our needs and teach us. And from an early time, many centuries ago, in our people's telling of the story, something is added. The Psalms and our core prayers relate that the Israelites that sing sang a new song. We sang the Yehuda HaLevi's Yom Li'Abasha, and the chorus was Shibhu Geulim Shira Chadasha. The newly redeemed people sang the Shira Chadasha, a new song. Through the generations and countless poems and prayers, this watershed moment is a moment of something new. It's a Shira Chadasha, a song that was never heard before, a song that emerged from Miriam and the women and spread immediately to the Moses and the men, who picked up that the spirituality of the women were on target. and really creating something Kodesh. They were transformed. This is one of the most compelling and beautiful images in sacred literature, the idea of a Shirah Hadashah, a new song. The way we tell this story suggests that true redemption is even more than the lack of oppression, although that is certainly worthy of a song. A totally new song at the sea, when something new is completely introduced and then becomes part of our tradition. That's the essence of how our tradition understands the story. It tells us to look deeper into what it means to be saved, to be free. As they emerged from the sea, the Israelites learned what freedom really was. They couldn't imagine it when they were still on the other side of the sea. They couldn't understand it even while they were still crossing, looking over their shoulders behind them. They only understood it once they were beyond it. They learned what it was not only to be saved and to be free, but they actually learned what it means to be. They learned what it means to experience the love of God. They learned what it means to accept the love of loving leaders. They learned what it is when a community lovingly joins together to cross through the Red Seas of life. They learned what it means to face the worst that life has to offer and be able to survive it. And in our lives as individuals and as a people, anytime we learn such lessons of freedom, of survival, of being loved, their song becomes a Shirah Hadashah. It's always changing, never static, something new. On this holiday, when we sing the Song of Songs, we are meant to sing a new song to tell a new story. Every year, when we come back to Pesach, every single Pesach is different because the world is different. And every year, it is different. And so our Haggadah tells us, Hareza Mishubach, it is a mitzvah to expand on the ancient story, to ensure that that story is not an ancient relic, but that story is our story, to enrich it in ourselves, to learn and grow from it in many ways. Telling our story in a new way each year is meant to wake us up, just as the springtime is waking up the natural world, to wake us up to take steps to create the world we dream of when we invite Elijah to our seders. The story of Pesach continues to be created and will continue to be created as long as there are Jews to tell it. The same holds true for the story of the life of a person, especially those we remember in just a short few moments. We know that a person's biography, too, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But the people who have been part of our lives do not live only in the past. They continue on with us. And every time we remember them, we are different. Every time we remember them, our understanding may shift, and we might see that person through different lenses. We focus on a different quality of their character, or some different story, some different episode that occurred. And each time, we discover new dimensions which teach us something new, and in effect, change, enhance, or transform their story, even as it enhances and transforms our lives. Our relationships with the people we remember will continue to evolve. One of the gifts of memory, one of the gifts of being alive, is that we can still engage with those who have left this world. We can still feel nurtured or inspired by a loving parent or friend. We can feel nurtured and inspired in new ways. We can reconcile and forgive a departed spouse, sibling, or parent. Our relationships can reach something like a tikkun, a repair, even now. We might become more accepting, maybe let go of a hurt or anger, give him another chance, appreciate her more than ever. That new perspective could move us to action. We might reconnect with a living member, a family member, or a friend, for example. Or we might honor our deceased in a new way through an act of tzedakah, which reflects the life of the person we recall, that we highlight in the Yizkor prayer. The life stories we remember, like our people's Exodus story, are eternal and constant and holy. At the same time, these stories contain infinite possibilities as they unfold throughout time, as we not only remember them, but tell them and retell them with our siblings or our children and grandchildren. To now, at the Yizkor moment of Pesach, as we turn our thoughts to those who have departed from us, we use this time to consider what has changed. Ma nishtana. What is different when I remember the person I recall today? Or what has emerged that I now understand work from me? Separation and loss are a part of every life. In the Song of Songs, the lovers are mostly apart, painfully longing for one another. And yet the book is suffused with joy and energy. It is a portrait of hope and faith. It ends with a powerful message that we ourselves read earlier, as one lover declares to another, "Set me as a seal upon your heart, for love is as strong as death. Many waters cannot extinguish love. Rivers will not wash it away." So we sing. We sing because love is as strong as death, because many waters cannot extinguish the love we feel for our loved ones now. And no river of tears can wash love away. In spite of pain, in spite of unrequited yearning, in spite of loss and separation, there remains love. Love is as strong as death because it remains with us forever. Because forever it invites us to sing a new song. We have the freedom to add new melodies, new harmonies, new embellishments, and new connections. We sing in a world that is lush, green, peaceful garden. We sing to imagine someday a world of love. May we sing of our loved ones now at Yizkor and sing of them throughout the years. May our song be a shira chadashah, a new song, helping us to remember them more clearly, love them more dearly, and draw newer lessons for our lives today. May our song help us to remember those we remember. May our song move us to become less bitter and more loving. And may our song give us the strength to imagine the world of the Song of Songs,